Hello everyone. Thank you very much for watching this interactive tarot reading for your love life in 2025. Now, what I would like you to do is I hope you have all charged your pendulums because this will be helping you decide which pile suits you. I will be making three separate piles of tarot cards here. And I would like you to swing your pendulum over your screen and decide which one you are more drawn to. I am creating 5 piles under each number here. I have been shuffling these extensively. And I'm using the Rider-Waite, original Rider-Waite tarot deck, the major and my minor arcana. So now what I would like you to do is to swing your pendulum over these 3 piles, over your device that you're watching this on, and just try to figure out which one you feel more drawn to really discover your love life in 2025. Let's see what is in store for you. Now, if you are feeling more drawn to pile 1, there's no need to go anywhere. I'm going to be pulling this reading in a moment. But if you feel more drawn to pile 2, please do select in the description in this video the timestamp for pile 2 and the same for pile 3. You can skip straight ahead to your reading, and in this way, in some way, you're understanding your own destiny through the tarot. Okay, pile 1 people, let's do your reading. Now then, let's see what is in store for you in 2025. Oh, these are fascinating signs. Okay. Wow, look at this. Oh my goodness. Let's just allow you to actually see that 5th card is the Magician. Wow. I'm going to have to zoom out further. Now, I cannot express just how wonderful all of this looks to me. You know, you have here, you're walking away from a situation here. You built up a relationship. It hasn't worked out. You've cut your losses. You've moved on. You have potentially moved home, and good on you. You know, you've moved away from a situation that wasn't serving you. You've cut your ties, and although it was painful, although it was difficult. It was for the greater good, and you know, the fact that you left it behind, all of that effort and energy you put into it, it was still worth moving on and building anew. And that is exactly what you have done. You've risen to a new station from having absolutely nothing. You've built up. You've risen to now a position that is beyond what you had before. It is elevated. There's a newfound kind of spiritual awareness about you, and a greater ability to see ahead, to see more clearly. You have quite literally risen above the chaos. You've walked away and risen above. There's certainly a newfound awareness. This is a tool at your disposal, and you actually feel rooted, grounded, and you know you're holding on to what you have, and quite rightly so. Despite what's going on around you, you seem to be the only one that actually is staying afloat, and perhaps that's because of your perspective, because of what you've been through in life, and what covers you at this time. It's as though you have climbed to a new station, looked on, searched onwards, and found a new sense of awareness. It sparked a curiosity within you. The clouds in this image really provide an idea of curiosity, new thoughts, new concepts, ideas, debate, communication, and feeling of experimentation, exploration, and strength and courage to carry this out. This person holds a sword. He is equipped, or she, and has this ability to venture onwards into the unknown. And so when we look back from where you come from to where you are now, this is tremendous. You are now ready for a relationship, and you have learned to love yourself. You have reflected on the past. You've been introspective. You've isolated yourself somewhat. You've done all the right things. And now it's time to to see what happens, to look into tomorrow, to start dating again. There is curiosity and wonderment, and you should be excited because this is a really positive sign. Think you have come out of a situation that was somewhat stagnant. I don't think you were quite able to in the, you know, previously anyway. I think you're stepping into a new scenario now where there's more freedom than you've had. Maybe you were ready, but you just didn't have the freedom. Perhaps there were family commitments. In any case, there are great things to come. You're excited, and I think you should be because looking a little bit ahead here, there's some really tremendous signs. Not only is your next relationship prosperous and positive and actually providing finally for you in a way that it enhances your life, but also there's some financial element as well. And it could be that in fact there is someone in a work colleague. Potentially, this could be career related, and there's an opportunity there. There's potential for a spark, a connection, and it's worth exploring these avenues. It's worth holding on to this thought. Hold on to this thought because literally, you've emerged from the clouds and look at what's coming. What's around you right now, your current circumstances. If there's someone at work that you quite like, that you get on well with, and there's something you feel like there might be a spark there, it's definitely worth pursuing. It might even be that through this union, through this partnership, there is the potential even to grow financially as well. There could be an equally kind of mutual beneficial, um, other positive benefits as well. And maybe you've got same kind of priorities in terms of security and the home and I think that perhaps in the past those might not a previous relationship didn't have those quite same priorities. Perhaps you were forking out for everything, and there just wasn't that equality. And maybe it wasn't even a financial thing. Maybe there wasn't equality in terms of responsibility or in other respects in the relationship, but in this way what we see here is something definitely worth holding on to. It's it's absolutely positive, and there's abundance for you. It's really really positive sign. I'm so pleased to be able to draw these cards for you because this is an absolutely magical sign, a magical spread here. This Ace of Pentacles shows us real stability. There's one hand cupping one thing, there's focus, clarity, and it's come from an idea that was healthy and it was happy and positive, and it's working, and there's nothing but positivity for you in terms of your next relationship here. Pile one, people, you are very lucky. The Magician card here really is the icing on the cake in terms of what we are concluding. And it shows us that you need to really dive in, dig deep, because this is not the time for holding back. It's not the time for being reserved or hesitant or um, despondent or indecisive. I want you to make that plunge, take the leap, because there is something quite magical that can spring forth. There is chemistry here. There's a reaction, and it is waiting for you to tap into this. This is on the horizon for you. There is infinite possibilities, and you can be the one to hold the key towards your happiness. And we can quite literally see as above, so below here. You are the key to your own spell that you can cast. You have the options, the luck, and it is in your hands. Quite literally, it's in your hands. And it's all down to you that circumstances have fallen into the right. The cards have fallen right. The circumstances are right at this time. There is an absolutely magical relationship, quite literally, on the cards for you at this time. So, as I say, if there is someone, that special someone that you kind of have your eye on, absolutely take that step. Ask them out. I have a feeling for you, pile one people, this is really going to work out in your favor. I see nothing but good things ahead. So that is your reading. I do hope you're happy with it. I'm very happy for you. I'm going to move on to pile two now. Pile two, this is your reading. This is a reading for pile two. I do hope we see some positive signs. My fingers are well and truly crossed for you. We have Two of Swords reversed. The Devil reversed. Two of Cups. Death. And King of Pentacles, both reversed. Okay. Well, I was hoping for something a bit more positive than this, but let's not look at this too negatively, because in the answers, in the information, in this knowledge, there is great power and wisdom. Initially, I look at this spread and I see a warning. I see a pattern here, possibly emerging again. I want you to avoid this, because the reverse Two of Swords here really shows us indecision. It shows us there's an inability to make those choices, anxiety. There's a division here, and it's not a good sign. And this is where you come from. You've been indecisive before. What's causing that? What's been the cause? Has there been a relationship that has caused you to be indecisive in some way? Have you been in an emotionally controlling relationship? Were you unable to make that decision to it's as though this person was unable to swing either way, and they've been sort of stuck, blinded. There's been an inability to move on. Perhaps you were tied or felt tied to a relationship, and it's really left its mark on you. Now, the Devil card is certainly one of those cards that a lot of people get scared about when it gets pulled in a reading, but this is reversed. And when we look at the scenario before, this is a really good sign, because it shows a transformation. It shows a change. And again, this is something of a magical card when we look at what we've just seen, because we see a transformation in this previous relationship. We see a change, and it's much, much needed. There is a throwing out of the old negative energy and looking towards what could be. And I think that this really represents breaking away from those relationship patterns, those psychological patterns that imprint on us when we are in unhealthy relationships. And it's recognizing those and breaking away from those. So this devil reversed is actually a really positive sign, pile two people. Do not fear. This is a wonderful sign. And I'm really pleased that we've seen it in the spread because it shows that you have awareness and it shows that you have made the necessary changes. You may have been indecisive. You may have felt like you couldn't make that decision, but you did, and you've done it for the better. Now, what covers you at this time is a really positive sign. It's a sign of this is a positive relationship. Now, when I say relationship, it's not necessarily a romantic one. I know this is a spread for your love life, but this could be a platonic relationship at this time. There could be someone in your life at this time that has a kind of a mutual interest. Perhaps there's a friend that you are, maybe they're interested in you, maybe you're interested in them. There's a symbiosis here. There's a kind of a mutually beneficial relationship, which is not necessarily romantic, but it is a positive one. It is prosperous. There are there's a shared companion, shared how do I put priorities, values, and you quite literally share these. So although you might not be, if you're in a relationship right now, pile two people, this might, for you, you might be thinking, well, I'm not in love, but I'm happy and I'm stable, and that is, you've come such a long way from what you've been in, that what you are in right now is good, it's happy, it's peaceful, and there's a connection, there's a strong connection there. And maybe it is love, but maybe it's platonic. Or, on the other hand, the other way of looking at this is that it is not, it's still not love, but it's not platonic either, and it's a purely kind of sexual relationship. Maybe you have a friend with a benefit, and you're two grown adults and you're enjoying your time together, and you have managed to reflect to a degree where you're in a position in life where you are, you're in a healthy state of mind, you're in a healthy relationship, but it's not necessarily love. It's electric though, so why not explore that? Why not have fun? Perhaps that's the other interpretation really around this. Um, I say that because it's almost like they're playing a game here. There's a very obvious feminine, masculine connection, a divide. They're quite literally exploring here. You can see there's that kind of playful exploration. Now, the reason why when I looked at this spread and I said that I see a potential warning sign here is because there is a fear maybe of letting go somehow. And it could be there's still kind of some sort of pattern that you have from a previous relationship. Maybe there is some damage here. This emotionally controlling relationship that maybe you're in, or controlling in some other way, abusive perhaps physically. There's something that you're holding on to that you're unable to let go, perhaps. Maybe you haven't quite fully recognized it. Maybe this transformation period, you weren't fully able to recognize and let go of all of that. And and that's what this is showing us here. There's a possibility. This is something of a warning here because it's really important that you really reflect on why is it that you're scared. I paused for a second there because I'm thinking to myself, if there wasn't a fear of failure, pile two people, what would you do? If you're if you're feeling okay, well, I mean, I'm safe enough, I'm happy enough, I suppose. I don't want you to settle for anyone. It's important now that you fully let go. Whether this is of a relationship that isn't fully serving you, that isn't giving your heart what it needs, or whether it's a psychological pattern of some sort that you are um, prone to falling into, it's really important that you adapt to the change and be brave. Don't be afraid of letting go, and whether that's the past as well. What you have right now might not last. It might not be forever. Things might change anyway, so it's really important that you actually embrace this change. This change is coming. It's happening. You're on the cusp of it. This is around the corner for you. So it's really important that actually you embrace this and and actually enjoy this. It's scary, absolutely, but there is something really enjoyable about a roller coaster for a reason. I'm fully aware that's very easy for me to say where I'm sitting. The other reason why I feel like this is something of a warning is because this final King of Pentacles here, this conclusive sign here, is a possibility of imbalance in either in your kind of your work, um, personal life, which makes me think about this, or it's potentially kind of immature, irresponsible decision making. Perhaps you're throwing yourself into. There is the potential for it anyway to give too much of yourself in a bid to have what you've lost potentially. You know, it could be that this other person, that's maybe a friend with benefits, as I say, has decided to move on, and you're not ready to let go of that. You're not ready to move on, and so your coping strategy is to maybe throw yourself at the next available person. Don't rush into anything. That's this warning sign here, because I don't want you to fall back into a situation that does not serve you. I don't want you to fall into a controlling relationship again, particularly where finances are concerned, and there is a danger to fall back into that pattern. That's what this spread. Initially, when I looked at it, I thought, okay, there's a potential for falling back into there's a pattern here. So my advice here is caution, and after this, this is what you need to concentrate on. This just around the corner, this adapting to this change, you need to embrace this. It's going to be painful. It's going to be a struggle, but uh, this is a necessary change. And this transformation, it's almost like you've gone through this once already and you don't want to go through it again. The danger here is falling back into the cycle again. It's really important that you embrace how this affects you. There kind of needs to be a door that closes for another to open. It might be that you have a particular type, and my advice for you is to actually avoid that type altogether. Maybe you like in some way. I would just actually avoid going for that type of person, whoever it is. Maybe, that type of person that makes you feel secure and enhances your confidence. Maybe that kind of person isn't good for you. Maybe you should go for someone who is secure and safe in themselves and is emotionally intelligent, aware of what you've been through and how it's affected you. You have needs, and I think that there's no reason why you can't find someone with those mutual needs, with that spark, find that relationship with that spark, but also someone who ultimately sees you for who you are and respects you and your boundaries. Pile two people, this is something of a warning. Heed caution, take your time. Don't throw yourself headlong in. And I am sorry it's not more positive. I'm going to put these away now and read for pile three. Okay, pile three people. Let's do the German three. We are reading for you now. Let's see what your cards reveal. Okay, the Four of Wands, the Hierophant, Nine of Cups reversed. Nine of Wands. And the Four of Cups reversed. Interesting. So we're looking at your past, your present, what covers you at this time, your near future, and the outcome. And this is in some way a conclusion card. It's not necessarily the outcome, but it's a window into what could be. Now, I'll be honest, pile three people, this is a very complex spread. I see in your past here, marriage. This is a positive, happy union, and there's a lot of tradition here. There's a family home. This is a traditional, kind of ritualistic union, but there's happiness here. There's harmony as well. There seems to be a coming together, prosperity. There's all the positives of a relationship. It's not necessarily electric. It's not sexually it's not necessarily sexually electric, but it's very happy. It's very peaceful, and there's the potential there for um, children. There's certainly that's hopeful for both parties. And when I look at this card and then the following card, the Hierophant, I can't help but feel that this is a very religious connotation. This is potentially an arranged marriage. There is order, tradition. There is something of confinement. Complex to me because whilst there's joy at home, it was arranged. It's not like that there's freedom in what you have, but what you have wasn't yours to choose. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, that's my one interpretation. The other, as I say, this is quite complex, is that this is where you come from. It was happy. It is happy still, perhaps, surely to some degree. It's a great sign as far as a previous relationship goes, but there's been a change in terms of your spiritual outlook. Maybe you see things differently now to your partner. Maybe you've grown and developed in some way, and maybe you've changed religion. Maybe religion has become a much greater role or spirituality in your relationship at this time. I would say if you have been in an arranged marriage, this really strengthens those values. And I would say there's a symbiosis of a committed shared value in a religious or spiritual priority. So this is a really good sign in terms of what's in store for you. This is a really strong foundation, regardless of my interpretations, for your relationship that you're in right now. There is dedication, there's commitment, it's stable, grounded, rooted, and it's very practical as well. At the same time, there is, as I say, a shared idea and almost a goal that you can both work towards, which you're both aligned in. Perhaps the only thing the relationship is lacking is maybe there's something anyway. There's one thing about your relationship that is lacking. Maybe you've been in a very long-term marriage now. Maybe you've been in this relationship for a long time. It's now kind of starting. There's loss here. Is disappointment, dissatisfaction. It might be that neither of you are earning quite enough. I don't think it's that. I think this is sexual dissatisfaction in some way. Um, I think everything else works out just fine. You've got children, you've got home, you've got land. There's everything but one thing. And it could be this. this disconnect, this turning from what is there, this turning away from that, it could be, as I mentioned, maybe you become much more spiritual, you become much more, you change religion, or you have a new way of thinking now. And so you can't help but to sort of become dissatisfied and frustrated with your newfound way of seeing things, but no one else can see what you're seeing. Maybe that's what I'm seeing here. There's a real feeling of wanting to make this work, but also wanting to have your say understood and heard. And the Nine of Wands here shows real strength and resilience, um, a real kind of determination to make things work at all costs. There's effort here. Um, and I think that's on both parts, partly because of what we see. We see wands in this image. There's energy, there's effort on both parts. There's equal effort on both parts. And I think there's, in some way, you come full circle in the near future. There's a rekindling of what you've had, and a reassessment of what you have now. And there's a willingness, absolutely, to make it work. I think you want to make it work. Maybe it's your partner that has this new kind of found spiritual way of thinking. Maybe you're dissatisfied with their new way of thinking and feeling. Maybe you're frustrated with the fact that they've been taken in by some concept that doesn't align with yours. Despite that, you're determined to make it work. The Nine of Cups reverse shows actually this person's kind of taking a break, and this person is working hard. I think you're at the moment you're already exhausted, but the near future shows a continual effort, and I think there's that potential there to just become exhausted from trying so hard to make this work. It's either you refusing to give up or it's them refusing to give up. There's almost like this push and pull. There's a tug of war here going on, and it's either you or it's your partner. But there's a refusal to quit fighting. And that's what's just around the corner for you, pile three people. Now, the possibility for the overall outcome here, and at the same time, something of a conclusion, the Four of Pentacles reversed is a really good sign, thankfully. And it shows that either you or your partner is letting go of this uphill battle, of this fight. One of you lets go. It shows it shows one of you letting go and embracing the new. So either you are now much more aware to let go. Perhaps you're anxious, not, you know, you feel like you can't let go of your position because of what might happen. Maybe they are feeling that way. Either way, there is a release here. There's a sense of relief and enjoyment in the realization that, in fact, letting go is what's needed. This person hugs tightly onto what they have. In reverse, we see that in letting go of this, a positive outcome can and will be had. And that, I think, is the kind of the lesson here, because that's the desired outcome. Overall, there's resolution here. Whatever toxic, um, um, whatever thing that energy that you're expending in towards to make work, either if it's you or your partner, this will be resolved. There will be a solution that is found, and that is found in letting go. The key here, the answer here, is not in fact to resist, is not in fact to fight, but to let go. They often say, well, a relationship should be fought for. Why should it have to be a fight in the first place? There should be coexistence. It should be seamless. It shouldn't be a struggle. It should be working together, not fighting together. And essentially, it takes greater courage to let go than to resist. And that is what is required of either you or your partner, pile three people. But I do see good things ahead. I do feel that this is possible. It's just a case of release, let go of whatever it is that you're holding on to. These, well, in fact, the anxieties and fears. And there is almost a tension here is caught with struggling to fight on, hold on, um, strive. Unnecessary. All of this is unnecessary. And it could just be so much, it could just be so much simpler than it should be. And I think you'll be able to focus on what you started with. And I think that is the case for you, pile three people. That is my reading for you. I do hope that I have managed to provide some clarity here. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you on the next one. If you have enjoyed this tarot reading, please feel free to like and subscribe. I wish you all the best, and I'm so very grateful that you chose to watch this video. Goodbye, and good luck on your path.